Whose career has been what you might call mercurial. She's been up, she's been down, she's never been forgotten. Her latest single with the Pet Shop Boys is the theme tune to the film Scandal, which tells the story of naughty goings-on in the 60s. She was topping the charts then too. Ladies and gentlemen, Dusty Springfield.
One more.
One for lunch. Well, Dusty, it's lovely to see you. I know that you're an animal lover, but you and the Pet Shop Boys joined up for quite different reasons. How did it happen?
Well, they like to tell the story that they sent me a tape, which was What Did I Do to Deserve This? They said that they sent me that for their first album. In fact, I was listening to them and sort of hovering in California and thinking, who are these lads? They sound really great. And the track was great, and I liked their sound. It was sort of big and full and sort of slightly over the top. And in fact, I got the tape in time for the second album, so it seemed like the right time to do it.
And here you are. 63 now was the year of your first hit, in fact, wasn't it? I Only Want to Be With You. And that is the time that the story of the film Scandal is covering as well. Do you remember all that scandal?
Well, actually, sort of, I think sort of peripherally, because we were all sort of very busy making our own little scandals and sort of blundering through the 60s and sleeping through some of them. I really sort of spent the first 5 years of my career not really being aware of what those words meant. You know, sort of...
What, scandal?
Naughty. Well, I sort of knew that one, but there were other naughtier words. Sort of words like love nest. In the tabloids. Someone's always caught in a love nest. Have you noticed that? Sipping champagne. That's very naughty to sip champagne in a love nest. So, I mean, the sleaze factor of it didn't really hit me until several years later, when I sort of became aware of all sorts of things to do with the sleaze factor. But really, the film is what makes it clear to me. I think sometimes in hindsight, I think in general, time diffuses the thing and they only sort of go, oh yeah, Christine Keeler, I remember her, but they're not quite sure what they remember her for. And indeed, the film is explanatory in a very strong way. It's... I
hope it's accurate.
It's actually not at all what I expected. I expected it to be somewhat sensationalistic and sort of tabloid. But actually it's a romance, because I think that no one ever really concentrated on the fact that actually Christine Keeler was crazy about Stephen Ward and had very real feelings.
But this gets the Guardian treatment, does it?
Yes, it does indeed.
Let us show a little of the video of the song. Of course, it's called Nothing Has Been Proved.
Which I haven't seen.
Oh, well, you'll enjoy this, because also it includes newsreel shots of the people actually involved in the scandal. Let's see it.
Okay.
Well, you haven't seen it before, and you still haven't seen it.
I still haven't seen it because I'm too short-sighted. I'm going,
You were on there, and it looked very nice.
Was I on there?
Yeah.
You sure?
Tell you what, though, this 60s revival that's going on, and is it all pure joy for you?
I'm very grateful for the past, and I think there's a danger of revivals being faddist. And if you get, you know, it's rather like somebody redoing an old one of their songs. And it's sort of like being a one-hit wonder all over again. And I never really wanted to be tied in with the past. I'm very grateful for it. But I would never want to redo things. I'm glad that there's an interest in the 60s.
Samantha Fox has done I Only Want to Be With You. Do you mind this?
No, I think it's great. I wish I'd written it. But lots of old records get covered, you know, sort of stay around, they come around. Elvis Presley covered You Don't Have to Say You Love Me.
Do you know that Ready, Steady, Go is being repeated on Channel 4? Have you actually seen that?
Oh, yes, they've got videos out in the States of that. I mean, they really are amazing, aren't they? What a hair! God, if you slept on it, you'd need a spanner to get it out.
But it was live. Was it absolute chaos?
Absolutely. I mean, it's just, especially the New Year's Eve ones. I mean, they were nuts because everyone was, you know, had far too much to drink. And, like, they used to announce people and they weren't there. I don't know, they passed out or something. I'm sure Sandy Shaw didn't pass out, but she wasn't there, so I had to do always something there to remind me with no shoes on. I know that. Because, like, there was no one to fill in. somebody had to do it. I just happened to be standing there at the time. I also filled in for Gene Pitney once. That was interesting. Well, he's smaller than I am.
What did you take off for that? I was wondering.
I don't know. Beard? I don't know.
And you interviewed as well on that show, didn't you?
Yeah, I had 3 weeks off between the end of the Springfields and the beginning of me. And I got to be the MC, or commaire, they used to say, very posh, because they were still stuck with Hélène Corday, very French. So commaire was the word, but actually we were just sort of doing interviews. And it was quite nerve-wracking, actually, because I can't see cue cards, so I had to remember everything, which is very dodgy.
Dodgy indeed.
Very dodgy.
Your famous panda look. Now, I actually talked to you in the early 60s at Alexandra Palace in a little programme called Town and Around, and then I couldn't see the eyes because you had the full panda.
I probably couldn't see you.
No. But it spawned so many lookalikes, didn't it?
Yes, I mean, it was sort of like Clone City. If you were sort of Ready, Steady, Go, or Thank You, Lucky Stars, or any of those shows, it was sort of all these domes, you know, these sort of domed people with beehives and black eyes. I mean, it's very lucky I was nearsighted, because that could be quite shocking.
You were in California for, what, 14 years? Mm-hmm. Did you go for the natural look while you were there?
No, I really I wish I could get a tan, but so many of my friends sort of turn into handbags. I'm not sure that they're friends after that, they'll come to think of it. But I think I'd rather be pale and moderately interesting than leather.
But during that time, were you hooked on various addictions?
I was addicted to all sorts of things in those days, and it was, so were so many of us. I mean, it was basically, I'm an addictive personality. I just ate 3 Mars bars, which is not a good idea to come on the Aspel show and do that. Energy, right? Energy. But I think a lot of us that went through the 60s went through a training period of being ravers. And I think it was encouraged. I mean, the more we sort of fell downstairs and got lunatic behavior, oh, she's a right card, isn't she? And actually, it worked for a while. It is a double standard, because I think there's nothing funny about a drunken woman, there's nothing funny about a very stoned woman, and yet, in a way, there's a mystique more for men. But if women have problems like that, I mean, it's ugly for anyone, in my opinion, and there were some problems, and that was 10 years ago. But it's not easy to get rid of. I wouldn't recommend joining that particular club, but everything's going fine.
How did you stop then?
It's not a matter of willpower, it's just a matter of really finding that you dislike yourself so much and you're behaving like such a complete creep. Some people never realize that about themselves, and I think it's a blessing. But so I didn't have to work at it. I did have a lot of support from people who'd gotten sober, gotten clean, and knew how to stay that way. It's very easy to stop drinking, stop doing drugs. It's not easy to stay stopped.
And now you're on the Mars bars, you see.
Yeah, but I don't know. Or else these people have problems, you know. I mean, I'm an obsessive person. And now I'm obsessed with cats, and that's relatively healthy, you know.
Why did you go to live in Holland?
It was as close as I could get the cats to England from California, without them having to go through quarantine, but I got cold feet. They would have been fine in quarantine, and they will have to come in May. But I thought of moving in. It's a very nice little cell. They have these kennels out by the airport, and it's sort of red and it has bars on it. And I thought if I got a caravan in the grounds. I asked if I could work there at night. Because I'm an insomniac, I might as well clean litter boxes all night. And, you know, there are about 50 cats, and I like making cats comfortable. It's a whole new career.
Well, there are no handbags in Holland either, I suppose.
No handbags? Well, they all go to Spain and get like handbags.
I'm very glad you're here, and I want, please, for you to go back to that first solo hit of yours. I only want to be with you.
Just don't compare me with Samantha.
Sing it, please.
She's got bigger titties than I do.
Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, Dusty Springfield.